Alright, here we go. This is going to be Taya versus Bandit Keith, and this should actually be a pretty good match. Both decks have the tendency to gain a lot of power very, very quickly with their monsters and their equipped cards. On the other hand, which deck is stronger overall without any equipped cards? Bandit Keith by quite a bit, so Taya would need to draw a lot of her equipped cards very early, otherwise she will get overwhelmed by Bandit Keith very quickly. But we should see a good match. Alright, here we go. Bandit Keith's perspective. Ooh, that's a Barrel Dragon on his first draw as well. He's also got Gargoyle and Zoa and Guardian of the Throne Room. Although, having Zoa and Barrel Dragon both on your first turn, that is also... that's not ideal because now you've got two high-level monsters in your hand to begin with. Alright, the Zero Ritual has also been drawn, so if Keith can get that to the field, he will have a 2800 attacker. Taya started with a face-down defense and a face-down magic or trap herself as well, and she has gone for a tribute. And she has summoned Dark Witch, which isn't a bad card for her deck as well. Oh, there's Silver Bow and Arrow. That'll put to 2100. Gargoyle's destroyed. I think Keith would have been quite confident with a 1600 defense right off the bat. Alright, Keith has drawn ground attacker Bugroth. He's going to have to go on the defensive for a little bit at least to begin with this duel. Taya with that Dark Witch at 2100. It's going to do some damage. Alright, Taya with a face-down defense, and here comes the Dark Witch again. That's going to destroy Guardian of the Throne Room. So Taya's taking the early initiative here. Bandit Keith will have to draw something pretty soon, otherwise he's going to go down in this first match. Oh, Pendulum Machine, not a card he needs right now. He really needs an equipped card or a Dark Hole or a Fissure or something to get rid of that Dark Witch. Draw phase for Taya. 3 cards in her hand. Oh, Kestis of Dagler. We have seen that in the past. We saw that against Panic. And we saw Taya gain a lot of life points in that duel from that very effect. 2600 now for the Dark Witch. And we're now speaking of something that's the same strength as Zoa and Barrel Dragon. Alright, there's Brave Scissor. But Bandit Keith is either going to need... well, he's got no monsters in his hand right now that can just be summoned. Otherwise, if he drew his limiter removal or one of his 7 completeds or something, he might have been able to get that Dark Witch off the field a little bit earlier. But it's looking like this is going to be Taya's victory to start off here. Oh, she went for the attack with Goddess with the Third Eye, and it was a good decision in the end. And there goes 2600 life points off of Keith, and that will be added to Taya from Kestis of Dagler's effect. Very unlikely that Keith is going to come back and win this one. Time Machine, that doesn't help. It's a good card, but it doesn't help in this particular situation. And it looks like that's going to be all for Keith. He might last another turn and be able to get another draw in, but it looks like this should be the last turn if Taya has any other monsters in her hand. Soul of the Pura, as if she needed any more life points. She's up to 11,400. And flips up Magician of Faith, which is only a 300 attack. And decides to bring back Soul of the Pura. I think she's literally just trolling Keith right now, just adding more to her life points. 12,200 now, and decides to tribute the Magician of Faith to summon Gyakuteno Megami, which is another 1,800. So that's 3,000, and that'd be 5,600 all up. So yes, Keith can't defend these attacks, and he will lose the opening round. Alright, Keith will have to win 2 in a row from here, which is actually tough against this Duelist Kingdom release era of cards. All of the cards that Taya are using came out quite early in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. The Fairy deck is actually very, very strong. I never thought the Fairy deck would actually be this good for like this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, let's flip the flip the perspective around. We'll go from Taya's this time. As Keith gets into the lobby. That Dead's Kangaroo. If the attack of a monster attacks this monster with lower than the defense card, destroy the attacking monster. That's not a bad effect. All of those Dead's monsters, they featured a lot in Chumley's deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. GX would be a cool series to do as well. I do intend to do GX at some point. Alright, Taya has drawn Wing Egg Elf, Tenderness, Shining Friendship, and Fairy's Gift, along with a Malevolent Nuzzler. And Malevolent Nuzzler is a very, very good equip card. 700 points, and if it's destroyed, you can have the option to pay 500 points and get it to the top of your deck, so you can use it on another monster. Tenderness is a good start as well, defensively, 1400. Keith as well decides to go for a face-down defense as well. It didn't serve him very well doing that in the last duel, but can't see what he's got this time. There's Red Medicine from Taya to gain 500 life points, and Fairy's Gift, along with Malevolent Nuzzler, will put that to 2100, so nothing defensive that Keith has is going to be able to block that. And Keith's face down was a Patrol Robo. That's destroyed, and Keith is on the back foot once again. It'd be a shame if Keith went down in straight sets really, really poorly. Oh, Dark Hole, good card. There goes Fairy's Gift and the Tenderness, along with Malevolent Nuzzler. Taya elects to pay 500 points to get it back to her hand. So it'd be a shame if Keith got absolutely blown away like we saw yesterday with Mako and Kaiba. And poor Mako, that second duel, I had a few people comment, yes, that second duel was absolutely brutal. Mako got beaten in literally 3 turns, or 3 or 4 turns, something like that. Mako got cooked. Alright, well we all knew what Taya was going to draw. She does have Shining Friendship. Overdrive did 1600 points of damage, but Malevolent Nuzzler will put Shining Friendship back up to 2000. Which again, when you've got that attacking you right at the start, that's a lot to overcome for Keith. Alright, Bandit Keith down to 7600, Taya at 6400, so Keith has the advantage on life points, but he hasn't got the advantage in monsters right now. What's he got? Oh, Fissure, another very good spell card. And Taya, do you really... Oh, I don't know about that move. 500 points to bring back Malevolent Nuzzler with only a Wing Egg Elf in the hand. Oh, Keith has ended his turn. It could be again that Keith only has high-level monsters in his hand. It could be Zoa, Metal Zoa, Launcher Spider, Barrel Dragon. He does have quite a few of them. Pendulum Machine as well. But Taya did play Wing Egg Elf in defense. And Keith again, going straight to the end phase. He must have no monsters in his hand to play. Taya has drawn Fairy Witch, which is an 800 attack. Malevolent Nuzzler will put that to 1500, and once again, Taya has the advantage. Keith will be put down to 6100 life points, 200 above Taya after this attack, but Keith, ooh, he's got to draw something, and he's got to draw something quick, otherwise this is going to be a very lackluster match. Oh, you're kidding me. He's got 6 cards in his hand, and it looks like Keith cannot play anything at all. Well, this is really going to be a tragic match if this is how it's going to end. It's going to end so quickly. Alright, 3,000 points have just been taken off of Keith. He's down to 3,100, and this isn't looking good. There we go. That is now 7 cards in Bandit Keith's hand. Oh, there we go, Gigatech Wolf. So he's finally drawn a monster that he can play. There goes a face down spell or trap. Oh, and 7 completed. That will put Gigatech Wolf to 1900. You do get the option between your attack or your defense on that one. So Gigatech Wolf now at 1900. Oh, Machine Conversion Factory as well. That puts Gigatech Wolf to 2200 now. And a stop defense. Okay, so we see what Keith had in his hand. he had a lot of magic cards. It wasn't more his high-level monsters. He might still have a couple, but that Gigatech Wolf now at 2200. Okay, interesting decision. Keith decided to attack the monster that had Malevolent Nuzzler, and Taya has paid 500 points. Now she can equip that to Maiden of the Moonlight and make that 2200 to get rid of that Gigatech Wolf. However, it does mean that Taya doesn't draw any new monsters or any new magical traps to attack Keith with. And that's what Taya does. She equips it to Maiden of the Moonlight. So Bandit Keith... Oh, good play. That's why he did it. He had Metalmorph as a trap card. That will give an extra 300 points to Gigatech Wolf, which is now at 2500. That was a very, very good play from Keith. Baited Taya into wanting to possibly get a stalemate and destroy both monsters. She paid 500 life points, gained no new cards, and now she's vulnerable to an attack. Only 1300 on both of those defensives. And Keith will destroy Maiden of the Moonlight again. Now, Metalmorph does have an effect as well. If you're attacking a monster, it gains attack equal to half of its opponent. I think that's what it... I think that's most of the effect, if I'm reading it correctly, of course, as well. Alright, Taya puts Lunar Queen Elzame in defense mode. And it's looking like Keith may have turned this one around. He looked dicey earlier on. Ooh, Zero Ritual. So one of the cards in his hand would be Zero. He's not going to tribute Gigatech Wolf, though, is he? Surely not. He's gone... Oh, Machine King was one of them, and Battle Footballer was another card that he had. He would have probably drawn that on that turn, or the turn before. Well, Keith has summoned Zero the Man, and he's also got a Gigatech Wolf at 2500 with 3 different equip cards. Do it. There we go. If it attacks, it gains attack equal to half of the attack target during damage calculation only. So Metalmorph is a very broken card. Alright, Spirit of the Harp in defense, but Taya is going to take a massive hit on this turn. And all of the cards in her hand are gone. Alright, Gigatech Wolf attacks, and Taya will lose on the next turn if she can't do anything about this attack. She would have to draw a Dark Hole. Or, a Wabaku could give her another turn, but no, she needs to draw something, and she doesn't. Goddess with the third eye will not do any help. And Bandit Keith will pick up the win in the second match after looking like he was going to be bundled out in straight matches. At least we ended up getting a decent match out of this second one. We'll get one more for a tie-break for the season point. There it goes, Goddess with the third eye is destroyed. Zero the Mant finishes the job, and we will go to tie-break. Oh, that second match was a lot better than the first. So let's set it up one more time. We'll flip the perspective back to Bandit Keith. And as we get Taya to enter the lobby. How much of my Yu-Gi-Oh viewing audience, how many of you play Pokemon as well? And when I say Pokemon, I mean like Gen 1, like the original red, blue and yellow. Because I get the feeling a lot of us are from the same sort of like time period, from the early 90s. Mid 90s is when we were born, so you probably grew up with Pokemon as well. Alright, Keith draws only monsters for his first hand. Robotic Knight's a good defensive card to start with. The reason why I bring up Pokemon is because on this channel I also do solo runs. I haven't done one for about a week, so I've been doing so much Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. But currently to this day I've done 91, yes, 91 solo runs on Pokemon Blue. I'm going through all 151 Pokemon and playing them through the game from start to finish, only using that Pokemon, with the exception of a Farfetch'd and Lapras, so I can use HMs to actually get through the game. Okay, there's Machine King, 2300. off the third turn, and Keith has a massive advantage in monster right now. And, ooh, Spirit of the Harp. Taya would have been banking on that to put up a defense as well. So, yes, I have, what is it, 60, 59? I have 59 more solo runs to do. What have I done? I think I've done 91, no, 60. I think I need to do about 60 more solo runs, and I will have completed the entirety of the 151. And if you're wondering how, on the program that I used to run, red and blue, I can... Ooh, Witch of the Black Forest. That means Taya will be able to select a card with 1500 or less defense. On the program that I used to run the red and blue games, I can add Game Shark codes. Ooh, Hourglass of... Is it Hourglass of Courage, I think? That will double its attack if it stays on the field for one turn. And now Taya losing 2400 points as well. Alright. Taya's turn. What was I saying? Pokemon. Oh yes, I can use a Game Shark code, and we all saw what happened. Dark Hole, goodbye Keith's monsters. I can use Game Shark codes to change the starter I get from Professor Oak. So literally I can, instead of selecting Bulbasaur, Charmander or Squirtle, I can select any one of the 151 Pokemon, so I can actually change that starter to whatever I want. Alright, both players with a face-down defense, and we're flipping back to Taya's turn. Keith with a slight advantage. He's got an advantage on life points, but that's about it. Okay, not anymore. There's 1,000 back for Taya. And another face-down defense. So, yes, I've done a few solo runs on Gen 2 as well, on Silver and Gold. And I did my first one on Pokemon Emerald. So I'm going to do the solo runs for Gen 3 on Emerald, but yes, I do intend to do 251 solo runs on Pokemon Silver Gold as well. I've done like 10 or so on Gen 2, and I've only done the one on Gen 3. I did Mewtwo, thinking that it would actually be quite easy, and it was anything but. What are these two doing? Taya and Keith, they're just slapping down defense monsters. None of them want to attack. It's like a stalemate at the moment. Ooh, 2 tributes, that'd be a Wing Weaver. There it is, 2750. Now Keith is going to have a hard time getting that off the field because Wing Weaver is very, very strong. He could get Metal Zoa on the field if he manages to draw Zoa. Alright, Blocker's destroyed. That's an 1850. That's a good defense as well for Keith. Oh, you are joking. No, that's got to be... You are kidding me. He has actually drawn Zoa. And he's going to play down Metal Morph. The thing is, though, the funny thing is because Zoa... So, Keith's going to play Metal Morph face down. When he equips that to Zoa, it's going to become 2900. When you special summon Metal Zoa, that's just 3000 attack. However, the effect of Metal Morph giving Zoa half of its attack target's attack onto its strength doing battle calculation, what's the point of summoning Metal Zoa if it's going to end up being stronger anyway? Okay, there's Hourglass of Courage. Face up attack from Taya. And I'm going to assume that Wing Weaver's going to go for an attack here. Keith's just waiting for it. Does Taya decide? She does. And there it is, Metal Morph onto Zoa. So, that's what I mean. Is it really worth summoning Metal Zoa at all, given the effect that Metal Morph has? For 100 extra attack points? I mean, with Zoa being at 2900, there's not much that's actually going to beat that anyway, so... There's Zero again, as well. So Taya put that Hourglass of Courage, probably hoping that Wing Weaver would destroy Zoa, but it hasn't worked, and now it's sitting there with 550 attack. And I guess Keith is thinking the same thing. Why special summon Metal Zoa if the effect of Metal Morph is going to come in and do more damage anyway? Taya now with a number of 4,425 life points. I mean, if you had 7 completed in your hand already, or some machine equip cards, then sure, maybe Metal Zoa's worth summoning. If you gave it a 7 completed, got it to 3,700, now we're talking almost as strong as Gate Guardian. Alright, Taya with 2 face down defenses, and now Mechanical Caser is in Keith's hand. Alright, that will likely get rid of both of Taya's defenses. There goes Fairy Witch. It's looking like Keith might actually pick up the victory against Taya, who, in all honesty, Taya is a very, very strong opponent. So it'll be a massive win for Keith if he does actually pull this off. That being said, if Taya does find a way to get rid of either one of these 2 monsters, or say like both of them, Keith has got nothing else to play from his hand. Oh, remove trap. There goes Metal Morph and the ability to summon Metal Zoa, if it really mattered anyway. And just a face down defense, so it looks like she's running out of options. There's Patrol Robo as well. So the best move here is probably to attack with Mechanical Caser. Yep, and then 3,700 points will come off from Zoa and Patrol Robo, and Taya looks like she might be done. The second and the third match were a lot better than the first. We did actually get a decent match out of these 2. And we got to see Zera as well. Don't get to see him too often. Well, Taya down to 725 life points. And yes, after this, Rex, Raptor and Weevil will play their Battle City decks in that knockout tournament. Doriado. Doriado actually came a little bit after this generation, but I put it in Taya's deck just so she didn't have a deck full of really, really weak fairy monsters. And Doriado seems like a card that Taya would have. Dark Hole from Keith. Go on, play it. Play it for no reason. Alright, Mystical Space Typhoon gets rid of Fairy of the Spring. That would have brought back an equip card from the graveyard. Or a magic card? No, I think it's an equip card. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Taya is knocked out. Keith really made a big comeback in that to pick up the win. Let's pull up our season tournament bracket. If I can just quickly get it up on my screen. There we go. Okay, so where are we? Taya and Keith, there we go, number 4. Maya and Bakura are going to come up tomorrow. We've also got Pegasus and Joey, which should be a good match. Mokuba and Panic, which could be interesting. Mokuba did beat Mai, and we will also have Rex and the Paradox Brothers, which that should be an interesting match as well. Rex Raptor, speaking of him, and Weevil are going to play in the Duelist... Sorry, did I say Duelist? In the Battle City Knockout Cup. That is coming up after this one. About half an hour after this one has been uploaded. So, to all of you out there who are tuning in every day, very much appreciate the support. I see the comments and everything coming in every morning when I wake up. Thanks for being here, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, farewell.